To integrate your higher self and why you should be working with a pendulum now. My name is Aloise.life. I am the host of the Dharma.life podcast. I am the creator of the Dharma.life Academy. And every week I bring you practical, down-to-earth videos that you can watch and integrate to help you live a 5D life in alignment with your soul. So if you haven't noticed, we are going through a massive consciousness awakening on the planet right now. And everything that is happening is divinely planned to help humanity move into their heart chakra. For a long time, as a collective, we have been blocked and stuck in our lower chakras. What does this mean? Well, think about the last 2,000 years. We've been kept in a karmic cycle, a karmic loop. We've been reincarnating back into traumatic events. A lot of us have had trauma, we've had pedophilia, we've had depression, we've had alcohol problems, we have had lots of traumatic things running down the side of our families, and a huge amount of us have come in to this lifetime to break free, break us out of those lower dimensional chakras. Now, as a collective, we are collectively awakening and moving into the higher chakras. We're moving as a collective through the heart. And everything that's happening right now, as you can see, is a little bit messy, a little bit weird and wonderful. And that is because the collective shadow on the planet is now being seen, and we can see all this stuff that has been hidden from us. Now, what you have to understand, took me a long time to understand this, and I really want to make sure you guys get it, is that everything that's happening is divinely planned. And it's because we've been out of balance as individuals, as humans for so long. We are multidimensional beings who have incredible capabilities, except we have been kept in these lower level states of awareness. So in Atlantean times, we had a 12 or 13 chakra system. And obviously now we only have this 7 chakra system, but we are moving into that higher chakra system. Now, your work, if you watch my videos, I really want you guys to become conscious of the real work. There's not many people teaching it out there because not many people know. And really what you need to be aware of and conscious of is that you are a multidimensional being who has energy centers, and your job is to open up your energy centers, free your energy centers, and go into higher states of consciousness, higher states of awareness, integrate your higher self, and become this incredible multidimensional being that you are. So if you're watching this video, the chances are you're interested in spirituality, you're interested in Dharma, and I'm going to show you an incredible tool that you can use to integrate your higher self. Now, why would you want to integrate your higher self? Well, we are a mind, we are a body, and we are a spirit. And obviously, if you're watching this video, the chances are that you understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You know, we have had many, many lifetimes, and the purpose of those lifetimes is really to raise our awareness and raise our consciousness so we can really become one again with Source. Our job is to become whole. When we're born, we are beautiful and perfect and whole. And then, of course, we get all these patterns and we get shadows and we understand and get attached to our egos. And really, the real work is removing and enlightening the mind. So enlightenment means to enlighten the mind. Ment means mind. So what you're doing is you're letting go of, as you raise your consciousness, as you raise your awareness, you are letting go of the constructs of the mind. So your ego, shadow, persona, behaviors, patterns, thoughts, really the goal is to become one and really become mindful and be present moment to moment to moment. Now, why is a pendulum important? Well, part of this journey, this ascension journey, to ascend means to go into higher states of consciousness and awareness. And as a collective, we are moving from 3D to 5D. As you move into higher states of awareness and consciousness, you must integrate your higher self. So we also have a higher self. Some people call this us in the future. It's almost like a future version of us, guiding us. But your higher self knows where you're going and what it wants you to do and how it wants you to evolve. So remember, mind, body, spirit, higher self, soul. So what we really need to do is identify as a spiritual being having a human experience. And really what we want to be doing is integrating with our higher selves, because our higher selves is us in the future. It is the higher aspect of who we are. So the reason you need to be working with this pendulum is because the pendulum is the most incredible tool to help you connect to your higher self. Most people go through life, they're not spiritually awake, they're not spiritually aware, they are in their patterns, they're in their behaviors, they're reacting. The job that we have in life is to go from doing to being. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, as a human doing, we run around doing loads and loads of stuff. Really what we want to do is get into alignment with our souls and then remove the programming. So the work we do in my academy and I do with my Akashic Records stuff is all about helping you understand who you are at soul level, first of all. None of us have been taught this. It's not like we go to school and they say, oh, okay, I'm just going to teach you who you are at soul level. No, we are raising our consciousness and we're starting to understand that we have a purpose and we are a soul and we actually have gifts related to that. So the more you understand who you are at soul level, the more you can get into alignment with who you are. So for example, my gift is communication. Now, luckily for me, I fell into a job when I was about, 18, 19, where I was speaking a lot and communicating a lot. And consequently, I was good at it. So really, without understanding why, I got myself into alignment at quite a young age. Now, when we do the thing that comes effortlessly to us, we enjoy it because actually it's our natural given gift. So remember, there's 2 points here. You need to get into alignment and then you need to remove the programming. And then what we're doing by utilizing our pendulum is we are connecting to our higher self. Now, if you are in my community or I do readings or sessions with you, I'm always referring to the pendulum and the higher self. So I really wanted to do a video to explain how to use it and how to work with it and why you need to. So think of this like a machine. Like if you went to the gym, you would use weights. This is your weight to connect you to your higher self. Now, often we don't know which direction to go in life. We don't know what to do next. We don't know where, what should we start that business? Should we leave that relationship? What should we do? This is going to tell you. Now, it does take a while to develop a bit of trust with this. It won't happen immediately, so please don't give up. It's like anything. You have to practice to get the connection with it until you start to trust it. I have these everywhere in my house. I have them on my desk. I have them in my living room, by the chair I sit in. I have them by my bed. I have them in my handbags. I wear them around my neck. Why? Because I'm continually making decisions for my highest good. Now, as we become our highest self, that's basically the highest version of ourselves. And I would really encourage you guys to go and find teachers that are teaching this stuff. It's all very well to, listen to YouTube videos, but I need you guys doing the work. We need everybody on the planet balancing themselves. The faster we come into a balance as a collective, the quicker we can solve the problems on the planet right now. So by being and becoming your higher self, you are really doing your work and you're showing up. So let's give you some tools and some tips and some tricks on how and why you should use this pendulum. Okay, so what I want you to do, first of all, is get one that is brass. People often ask me, where should I get one? Don't get them on Amazon because we don't like Amazon, big multinational company. I would encourage you to get them from an independent retailer. And I would also encourage you to get a brass one. The reason I want you to get brass is because if you use crystals, they can pick up energy. Now, often people ask me, do I need to do anything when I first get it? Just a little bit of intention, hold the pendulum in your hand, bless it, set some intentions, ask to remove any negative energy from it. That is totally sufficient. That's all you need to do. And then when working with it, you're going to have to establish a connection. So first of all, you need to make sure you're grounded. What does that mean? Well, if you imagine we are electromagnetic beings and we must be earthed like a plug. You wouldn't use electricity without having it earthed. It would be dangerous. We are electromagnetic too, so we must be grounded. So regularly take your shoes and socks off, put your feet on the floor. If you use technology, if you sit at a computer all day, every day, you will be becoming unearthed. If you ever find yourself fuzzy-headed, in your head, can't concentrate, the chances are you are not grounded. Now, the great thing is once you get to use one of these, you can check whether you are grounded. But in the meantime, go and take your shoes and socks off, put your feet flat on the floor. That will immediately ground you. You don't necessarily have to be on the ground floor. Like in my office, or I could be upstairs, I could still have my shoes and socks on. I would still be earthed because the structure that I am connected to is grounded. So get yourself grounded, get yourself hydrated. Another important top tip, you must be hydrated. If you're not hydrated, you won't be at full capacity. You might not be operating at 100%. So make sure you're grounded, make sure that you are hydrated. And then what you're going to do to set your pendulum is you're going to hold it and you're just going to ask, and hold it a bit higher so you can see. You're just going to ask, you're going to say your name. Actually, before you do that, sorry, I'm going to give you one more thing. Now, I take for granted that my left and right hemisphere of my brain is balanced because I do a lot of this work. But for you, you might not be. So if you imagine you have a left-hand side of your brain, you have a right-hand side of your brain. The left-hand side of your brain is the analytical side. The right-hand side of the brain is more creative. Now, we as humans have been taught to be intelligent and analytical and blah, blah, blah. So most of us are in the left-hand side of the brain. And actually, for this to work, you need the left and the right-hand side of your brain balanced. So the reason I'm putting a point on top of my head, imagine I'm wearing a witch's hat. I did actually used to be, I've had about 3 or 4 lifetimes as a witch. So imagine you're wearing a witch's hat like that and send the energy up from one hand side of the brain and up from the other hand side of the brain to meet in a point. Basically, what you're doing is you're balancing your energy. Often people can't get a connection because they're only in the left-hand side of their brain. So grounded, hydrated, and then you're balancing the left and you're balancing the right-hand side of the brain. Okay, so then what I want you to do, hold the pendulum. What you're going to do, first of all, is you're going to ask, you're going to say your name. My name is Aloise. Now, can you see my pendulum is going backwards and forwards? Move it a bit higher. That's my yes. My name is Matt. It's my husband's name. You see, it's going the opposite way. No, because it's not. That is the fastest and simplest way to set your yes and no. Everybody's different. Just because yours doesn't look like mine, it doesn't mean it's wrong. Play with it. Ask it simple questions that you know are yes and no questions. You can only ask yes and no questions. But I would recommend that you use the name question. It's the simplest one you can do. So you can say, my name is, say your name, and see which direction the pendulum goes. That is how you set your yes and no. And then start to practice. It's like anything. You can't go to the gym and get muscles overnight. Shame. Same with this. You have to practice. You have to do it daily. So this is why I have them all over the house. It's interesting, actually, because I do so many Akashic record readings and I had a bit of time off and I found my connection wasn't as good. So it's interesting. You have to keep practicing like anything in life. And so everybody's psychic. Everyone has psychic capabilities. You just have to practice and open them up. And obviously the purer you get. So the more you eat high vibrational foods, you don't drink, you don't eat meat, you're raising your vibration. And the more you raise your vibration, you're opening up these extrasensory capabilities. So what I want to show you how to do next is understand with the pendulum that everything is intention. So most people don't know what they're connecting to when they use a pendulum. They'll just be asking questions. And I've heard stories of people who have got themselves in problems, actually, because the goodness knows what they've been connecting to. So we don't do that. We want you to make sure that you are extremely intentional and conscious when you're using your pendulum. So you can set the intention, and this is just how you hold it in your head, that you're going to talk to your higher self. So literally, you might want to say it out loud. You don't have to. You just have to hold that intention that you want to work with your higher self. And intention is powerful because when you come on and you use this on a regular basis, you can set intentions to work with different things or beings or people. You can talk to the higher self of your child. You can talk to the higher self of your pet. You can talk to your husband's higher self. Very useful. But first of all, let's start off by working with your higher self. So set the intention to work with your higher self. Now, the other thing that you're going to do is you're going to check that your intuition is at 100% before you use a pendulum. So is my intuition at 100%? Or yes. Because if it's not 100%, A, you might not be backgrounded, B, you might not be hydrated, or you might just be tired. Don't use your pendulum and expect good results when you're tired. Like, that's just common sense, but we still do it. The other thing I want to articulate to you as well is that be mindful and have etiquette around how you utilize it. A pendulum is not a fortune-telling tool. I've tried it, believe me, many times. Will my stepdaughter get a job? Yes, she didn't get the job. Will I win the horse racing? Yes, I didn't win the horse racing. So I'll give you these examples because it's not meant to be used to predict the future. It's not a fortune-telling thing. It is supposed to be used for you to connect to the highest aspect of yourself and move forward accordingly. So be mindful, you will all do that. You will all make mistakes like that. And it's part of the course of working with one. So don't worry about it. But I can try and save you time and energy and information now. Don't bother because it's not what it's there for. And there's also etiquette about tuning into other people and asking things for other people. If you would share what you're doing to their face, then the chances are that's okay. If you wouldn't share what you're doing to their face, that tells you something. Now, I work with the higher selves of my clients before they come to see me, and they've agreed to work with me basically by giving me money or booking a session. So there's etiquette there. You can't just go tuning in to people randomly. I would really encourage you to have some morals and some ethics around what you are doing. So no fortune telling. And then would you share what you are doing with the person? And if you, for example, you wanted to work with your husband or your children, then just get permission from their higher self first of all. So connect in your head to their higher selves and say, is it okay that I do we work together? And if you get a no, you'll get a no. And if you get a yes, you get a yes. Sometimes with clearings, I can't clear someone unless I've got a yes from them. So yeah, really important to have etiquette around that. You can also connect to your spirit guides. That is something that is really, really fun and is something that we should be doing. Spirit guides essentially are here to support us on our journey. Now, they can't support us, they can't help us if we don't ask for their support. So again, we're setting the intention to talk to your spirit guides, working out how many you've got. Most of us have got between 4 and 6, even asking their names. A really nice thing that you can do is you can ask your spirit guides a question. It's so interesting. Like often if I've got something I'm puzzling over or I'm wondering about, I set the intention before I go to bed. Can you give me the answer to this? And then what happens is the information will come through in that period between you're half asleep and half awake. This morning I woke up with some words in my head and I knew it was my spirit guides communicating with me about something I've been wondering about. And yeah, little did I know, it was right. Now, the way to check that is with your pendulum. Say, for example, you are wanting to know what to do to move forward. Make a list and then write the list and then check the answers out. Now, questions are everything. The quality of your question gets the quality of your answer. If you ask rubbish questions, you're going to get rubbish results. So think about your question before you do it, before you utilize it. So if you wanted to know what was the next best step for you, you would write a list, say, of like 6 things. And then you would say to your pendulum, out of these 6 things, please give me a yes to the first thing I should do to move forward. Can you see how specific that question is and how I've set up a parameter of it's the 6 questions and then what I want to know the first thing that is good for me to do to move forward? Great question, really strong guidelines, strong parameters. If you just write a list and say, what should I do next? You might get a good response, you might not. This way, by using the question that I formulated, you've got really clear boundaries and it sets you up and shows you how to use the pendulum. Okay, so if you're listening, if you've got this far into this video, well done, well done. I'd love to know in the comments if you use a pendulum, what you use a pendulum for. If you would be so kind as to share your top tips below around your pendulum, that would be amazing. Now, something else I wanted to teach you in this video is how to do some pendulum healing. When we do healing work, when we go through life, we can have things that kind of discombobulate us. And we might have an off day, we might not feel so well. I've been doing lots and lots of negative conscious pattern clearing. I do that in the Akashic Records, and I basically bring up my negative patterns and I clear them. But what it can do is it can mess with my energy body. So if you're ever having an off day, this is the time to use what I'm about to teach you. In actual fact, you know, I would probably get you in the habit of checking on a daily basis. Well, I would maybe only do it if you feel off, because if you feel okay, then there's probably nothing wrong. But if you've got a headache or you feel a bit out of alignment, then you can do some pendulum healing, basically. So what you are going to check with your pendulum healing is if you're grounded. So that would be the first thing that you would connect and see, if you're grounded. And also if your emotional, mental, and astral bodies are in place and connected. You imagine we have got lots of different light bodies that are connected to our body. And sometimes those can get out of place if we're doing something like driving, or we're sick, or we've got on a plane, anything like that. Healing work can do it. So I want you to ask and check whether your emotional, mental, and astral bodies are in place. And if they aren't, you just set the intention. You say, please balance my emotional, mental, and astral bodies. Now, the other thing I would encourage you to do is check whether you have any energy cords. We are energy. Everything is energy. Now, hopefully, more and more people are waking up to this. Now, in an ideal world, we are gaining our energy from source. What do I mean by that? Well, if you imagine you're an energetic being, and really what you want to do is open all your energy centers and then on a daily basis be plugging into source, meditating, yoga, qigong, kung fu, whatever it is. All these are all energy practices that build your energy. By doing that, you're getting energy from source. Now, what most people are doing is they are wandering around getting energy from each other, because they don't have enough energy themselves. They haven't built their energy. They haven't raised their vibration. How do they get energy? Or they might get it from their family. They might get it from someone else. So what we want to make sure is, in an ideal world, you are building your own energy through good food, through meditation, through practice, through unblocking your energy system. Most people's chakra system are closed. And then what we also want to make sure is that you're not hooked or corded into anybody. When you build your own vibration high enough, your energy body high enough, you don't need to cord into anybody else because you're a fully fledged battery. And the work we do in the Akashic Records is, if this is you and this is your soul, we let go of the blocks and restrictions and the karma that are weighing you down to enable you to raise your vibration. Hopefully this is making sense. Any questions, just pop them in the thing below. But what that means is that humans have a tendency to cord into each other. If you're working with people closely, children, healing, dogs, anybody you're helping, maybe you're caring for your mother or you're caring for anyone in the family, the chances are all the family are corded energy-wise and interlinked into each other. So again, you can use your pendulum to check whether anybody is corded into you. Now, if you imagine this is your battery, this is you, this is your energy, and we want to make sure that you have the most amount of energy ever. If you come to see me in an Akashic Records reading, I will show you how to get into energetic alignment with who you are at soul level. And not only that, I will remove the karmic blocks and restrictions that you've got from past lives. We've all got energy blocks from past lives, as well as what we're dealing with in this life. I know, my goodness, the work. The other thing that I will also do is help you maintain or get rid of any energy cords or anybody who's corded into you. But you guys can do this for yourself, and I think it's really important that you do that. The other thing we do in the Akashic Records is that we help raise your vibration. That is the name of the game. This is why we're here, people. We're here to raise our vibrations, and we're raising the vibration collectively of the planet. The reason I really want to do these videos is to help you maintain and raise your vibration. So working with a pendulum is not only a fantastic way to integrate your higher self, it is a wonderful, wonderful way to maintain and raise your vibration. So if you happen to find that you have a partner, a sister, a child, whatever, whoever corded into you, you just ask the question, do I have any hooks or cords, or I should say cords? Do I have any energy cords from anybody else? No. I know I don't, because I clear them on a regular basis. But if you did, you would ask who, and you probably know, because it will be the person that you've been spending a lot of time with, who you hang out with a lot. Find out the name of the person and then just use the pendulum, use a command, basically say, please remove any hooks or cords from so-and-so and send them back with love and blessings. It's very, very simple. But you don't know what you don't know. So the chances are you don't know that, so you're not doing it. If you come away and say you go to a relative's house and a friend's house, and you come away and you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired and so drained, the chances are that person is unknowingly, unconsciously, but they're probably a bit of an energy vampire, and you're not grounding and protecting yourself, or you're not conscious and aware of what is going on. Now, the other thing I suggest is I am a big Doterra Advocate. If you want to do that, you can contact me. I have people, and I mentor people who are in my team as well. So you're welcome to come and get mentored by me. But I would suggest, if you are somebody that suffers with problems of people stealing your energy, or the other thing you can do, apart from just check for hooks and cords, is wear tea tree. Now, I actually quite like the smell of it. But tea tree is a very good energetic barrier. So if you're going somewhere like a party, or you're going to a parent's house or a friend's house, or somewhere where you would normally come away drained, two things you need to do is check this, or wear this, sorry, and then check if there's any energy cords. Now, the other thing I told, we were discussing this topic in my Dharma Life Academy the other day, and I was saying that pets as well, pets can get energetically joined to their owners. Now, have you ever seen an owner or a dog that looks like the owner? Or have you ever seen a dog that maybe the owner's got a limp and the dog's got a limp? Or have you ever seen a dog where they end up developing symptoms like the owner? Because we are energy, we link and we cord in. So I would really encourage you to clear your dogs. Like, I check that my dogs are not connected to my parents. They go and see my parents on a regular basis. Both my parents are a bit older and they've got things going on. So when they come back, I clear their blocks, and it's just a statement. You just set the intention and you clear it. Most people overcomplicate how to do energy work. What you really need to be doing is just be getting clear and setting intention about what you want to achieve. Now, the pendulum will give you the answer you need. So lots and lots to think about in this video. I wanted to do this video because I get so many questions on this topic. And if you work with me, if you're part of our academy, or if you're part of my come and do Akashic Records session with me, I will get you working with a pendulum, because it is the fastest, simplest, easiest way to integrate your higher self. And that is what we're here to do as we go through this ascension process. We're shifting our lives from the 3D version of who we were into the 5D version of who we are. And I want to give you simple, practical tools that help you get there quicker and help us as a collective get there quicker. So thank you so much for listening. Please do subscribe. Please do share this video with anybody you think that would benefit from listening. I'd love your comments in the feedback and in below, and let me know how you use a pendulum. Anything I haven't mentioned that you do, let's just raise the vibration of this planet. Don't be afraid to not share. Like, share stuff. We need to really create this beautiful community spirit of people that are helping and raising the vibration of the collective. So it's a pleasure to be on the journey with you. My name is Aloise.life, and please do subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you on the other side.
Thank you so much for listening to the Dharma Life podcast. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. Please come over and say hello on my Instagram, our Facebook group, and also please let me know what you thought. So if you are listening, please take a screenshot of the podcast that you are listening to. Tag me on Instagram and I will reshare your post, and please let me know what it is that you got out of today's episode. Remember, when we do our Dharma, we are happier, healthier, we live longer, and we have a deep sense of unshakable inner peace.